Yo, welcome back to another video. Let's get right into it. Let's not waste time.
The Fall Guy.
I finally got around to making the Ben 10 vs Dragon Ball video. Thank you. Really, the pleasure is all mine. I honestly should apologize because I think I kept you guys waiting like 4, maybe 5 months.
Okay. I think this is about where it starts. Where he's like actually breaking it down.
Completely honest there. So to start off the list, let's just rip off the most painful band-aid and get it over with. Alien X is by far the biggest reason why Ben could beat pretty much anyone in Dragon Ball. So what can Alien X actually do? Literally anything. Alien X can just warp and mold time, space and reality to whatever it wishes it to be. He needs to fight Hit. He can just imagine Hit is a butterfly and it will be so. He needs to fight Ultra Instinct, Super Saiyan 4 Full Power, Kaioken times 20, Limit Breaker Gogeta. He can just imagine the guy is an infant with 0 powers and it will be so. To be honest, Alien X is basically just Zeno on crack cocaine. He is literally capable of doing anything he damn well pleases, but it is not like he is without any weaknesses at all. It has been confirmed that there are certain types of planets in the Ben 10 universe where he can't survive due to like ecological reasons. He also has some troubles fighting against magic due to the way his powers work. And there are a couple of other things here and there he can just struggle with in general. But the biggest weakness Alien X has by far is the fact that he is comprised of 3 different types of minds. Like there's 3 people inside his head, if that makes any sense to you. And all 3 minds must actually agree to an action before Alien X can carry it out, and spoiler, they don't always agree. But on the other hand, when these 3 minds do agree on fighting the Dragon Ball verse, I am pretty confident they could just wipe it clean out of existence if they damn well pleased. Another one of Ben's aliens that is just incredibly busted is Ghost Freak. So why is this guy busted? Ghost Freak can possess someone and just make them unalive themselves. Ghost Freak does not even need to realistically fight anyone. He can turn invisible, possess someone and just make them do all the work themselves. Now, will this work on everyone? Probably not. Let's be real, there are no doubt characters that would be able to shake this off. But you cannot sit here and deny the fact that this is a really broken ability to be able to just spam out. I am sure he would be able to get a lot of eliminations using Ghost Freak to basically cheat his way out of just dicey situations. Next up we have Jet Ray. Jet Ray can use Neuroshock Blast to shut down an enemy's entire nervous system. He can give Dragon Ball characters the Yujiro special from when he slapped Baki into a damn seizure. One important thing to mention though is that this would more than likely not work on androids and Cell. In the show itself it was shown to be pretty ineffective against mechanical beings or like sort of androids in general, like anything mechanical it didn't really work as well on. But still, being able to turn someone into a vegetable is not a useless ability in the slightest. I'd wager he would be able to do some pretty funny damage with this one. Him just turning Vegeta into a drooling vegetable and preventing Trunks from ever being born just sounds really funny to me, and it would be a very funny way to beat that scenario. So next up is Nanomech. He can shrink down and crawl up Goku's ass and just expand again. This is literally Ant-Man vs Thanos all over again. This is all I will say about Nanomech. Moving on. Next up we get to meet Clockwork. Now Clockwork is also a real piece of work. He can basically freely manipulate time in any way he wants. He could regress you back into your father's balls, he can age you until you turn to dust, he can chuck your ass into a timeline where you were born as a New York subway rat instead. If you get hit by Clockwork, you are royally screwed because you can't fight time itself. Now, Hit could be an exception, but honestly I don't think his time skip would be able to, create a surefire counter to this guy. But I will mention that, since Hit is also like a time manipulator, this could be a very interesting matchup. Next up we have Atomix. His powers are all about radiation. He is for all intents and purposes a walking nuclear reactor who can harness this power at will. He can shoot radioactive lasers, expel energy waves, etc. But he could also give the entire cast of Dragon Ball radioactive related diseases like for example cancers, thyroid disease, adenoma and cataracts. I know this sounds really morbid and I don't like to joke about a serious illness like these ones, but it is a valid strategy to win in the long run. By using Atomix, Ben could theoretically cripple the cast of Dragon Ball by literally making them too sick to fight back. Now, I'm obviously aware that this is a really unorthodox way to go about this, but I just wanted to include this method of fighting because it could be a very realistic tactic. But I also want to mention that this is in no way meant to make fun of a serious disease, or serious diseases in this case. Just making sure that I'm very transparent with this and we're on the same page, that I don't mean to insult anybody with like diseases and stuff. That's just not me. But lastly, we have his ultimate Ben form. After a lot of trial and error, Ben found a way to simply use the powers of his aliens without transforming. This is basically a speed boost to all of his abilities because he removes the time he needed to transform into the, respective alien forms. So these are basically all of Ben's aliens, which I believe give him the power and honestly, let's be real, hacks to beat pretty much everyone in the Dragon Ball universe. Now, are his wins guaranteed? Obviously they're not. Like, duh. Alien X can literally debate with itself too much, just preventing it from doing anything in the first place. Ghost Freak's mind possession could possibly be undone by sheer will, example being Majin Vegeta and Babidi. Jet Ray can be dodged if the opponent is fast enough. Nanomech can be sensed and discovered in a similar way Piccolo sensed that small dude in the Tournament of Power and 17 managed to beat him. And Clockwork and Atomix could be dodged as well. My point is that if Ben can use these guys effectively in combination with his other aliens, which were not mentioned in this video, he could 100% have a chance at winning everything. It all depends on how open you are to Dragon Ball characters losing, to be honest. Like, if you are the type to argue,
Dragon Ball speed and power hacks nullify every argument you can possibly make.
obviously, you will not be open to Ben possibly being able to win. But I personally decided to have an open mind for today's video and think that with some luck and him playing his cards right, Ben can actually join Sonic and Kirby in clearing the entire verse. And that brings me to the tier list placement for today's hero. I am going to place Ben in the uppermost tier because I think he deserves to be in there. But I am very curious as to what you guys' opinion is on this versus. Did I rank Ben way too high, or do you think I still somehow undersold him? Let me know what you think in the comments down below and we can talk about it like grown adults. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for taking the time out of your busy...
Alright, thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna see you on the next one. It should be good.